What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today we're taking a look at the Ripple XRP price chart. We have some pretty big news coming out of Ripple regarding Japan and on-demand liquidity. Of course, that's created a lot of buzz over there on Twitter and excitement throughout the XRP community that a new corridor has been opened up for cross-border payments utilizing XRP. This morning we have seen a little bit of a pop over here on the XRP price chart, but we've also seen that in several other areas of the crypto market, including Stellar Lumens and Bitcoin. So in today's video, we'll take kind of a closer look at what happened with today's price pop over here on the XRP price chart. We'll also take a closer look at what's going on with Bitcoin and try to kind of tie everything together with the altcoin market on where we're at right now. I'm noticing some interesting things happening over here on this chart right in front of me in regards to Wyckoff accumulation that's happening here, and that's also happening over there on Bitcoin. And in yesterday's video, we're talking about all the places I'm seeing people saying we need more confirmations to know that the price is going to go up. Even in yesterday's Twitter post that I was posting yesterday, completely unrelated to crypto, just posting a picture of something in my office. I even got comments in there. We're still in a bear market. Not until we break above $42,000 do we have the confirmation that we're going to go up. So that seems to be kind of the repetitive theme that I keep hearing. So we're going to kind of take a look around the market and see, are we about to see some retail investors get wrong-footed, those who have waited and sold the bottom and are letting the prices rise and rise and rise to reach their confirmation levels, buy it, and then them get wrong-footed as consolidation can continue on longer. Now, you're probably looking at this video if you've already heard the news about Ripple and Japan and SBI. And thinking, wait a minute, blockchain backer, this is supposed to be exciting. It is all exciting. Everything is really good. I'm still super bullish on the market. I think XRP is going to go way up. I think Bitcoin's going to go up. I think the whole cryptocurrency market's going to go up. But I think what a lot of people do is, you get dopamine, you get kind of drugs put in you, you get really excited and you think everything is going to go flying right now. And a lot of times I kind of like cool the jets a little bit on that kind of stuff. And I'm just going to show you what's going on with the chart here for XRP. Now, one of the things I've shown you guys over the last couple of weeks has been this XRP price chart, this whole correction we've had going on here for 3 months, comparing it to Bitcoin's 2-year long correction that took place back in 2014 and 15. And that it has been my opinion that we definitely have reached our capitulation moment right in here, just like we did with Bitcoin back in here, where we had our capitulation, and now we've been going into Wyckoff accumulation down in here. But as news breaks, as excitement breaks, everybody goes with the mindset that the price is going to go skyrocketing to the upside right now. That's what always happens in this market, so that's normal for people to feel that way. But I'm seeing something pretty clear here in regards to Wyckoff accumulation. Now, we don't know if it's going to play out exactly this way, but I can show you what I am seeing in here. When we look at Wyckoff accumulation, you can see how your selling climax followed by your automatic rally and then your secondary test, and then it does set one new high and then comes back on down. We could see how that happened here on the XRP price chart, where we had our selling climax followed by our automatic rally, secondary test, and one more push higher. And then after you have that, you come in for your secondary test and your spring. Now, it's up for debate if whether or not this was the spring. If I'm looking around on different charts, such as EOS, it definitely shows to me that this was our spring, and that we have our automatic rally, our test, our high, come up, set a new high, then go back down in for your spring, and you're good to go. So over here on several of these charts, I'm seeing the structure set up that Wyckoff accumulation is completed. But XRP's chart does look slightly different than that, although it does appear that we do have our spring pulling us out of here. What if it's not, right? What if we've just completed that portion of it and we still have to go in for what you can sometimes call a creek? And a creek can be long-lasting, sideways, boring, low volatility, and torturous still. This is a good example of it, where you can see how a creek will pull sideways and just kind of torture for a long period of time with low volatility before finally breaking out. We can even see over here on Bitcoin how it had that, how it had its creek after pulling back down and then just gradually grinding and boring volatility. And I remember living through that moment and people were still screaming that the sky was going to fall and that the market was going to collapse. Bitcoin was going to collapse to $1,200. But in an accumulation schematic, that's normal to have this creek. And think of it when I say creek, kind of like a door opening really slowly. They call it a creek because it's just so slow and so grinding, and then eventually breaks its way out. So while it's super exciting to see that the price is up higher today, we're at the top of the range. Just a week ago, the market was in complete and utter fear. For the first time since May, we're now neutral. You can see that big pop right there. Look at that. Haven't seen that since back in May. Now we're reaching back up to higher price levels. Still the potential that there is some type of creek that could come out of here before finally breaking back to the upside. But it's optimistic, right? I still fully believe and fully see the optimistic scenario here for XRP that the price is going to rise. And people can call this a bear market all they want. A bear market means that prices will continue to go lower. Being able to figure out when it's a bull market before everybody else does is the big critical key to all of this, because a lot of people do wait for all of those confirmations, which everybody has to figure out for themselves. But for example, if this is Bitcoin still Wyckoff accumulating, right? We take out this high, great, that's fantastic. We now have a higher high. We can negate the ABC of an Elliott wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. We set a new high here. We can negate that as being what's going on. But I see a lot of stuff out there saying we have to get above $42,000 to confirm that the prices are going to continue going up. But what if this is still a Wyckoff accumulation that has a creek left in it, similar to what we saw at the end of this correction or at the end of the capitulation phase of Bitcoin back in 2018. One of the interesting things about this as well is if we look at the size of this and how this all played out, we've got pretty much the same thing. Same size move down. Look how far down that came. Completely identical. Notice it had its first pause that happened right in here. You can see that right there. You can see how it has its first pull down, a rise back up, then its deeper pull down, just like we did over here on Bitcoin, and then a bigger rise. And then after this rise, right, what did it do? It went into a creek before eventually breaking out. And so what happened, right? You had everybody completely scared at the bottom. You had people capitulating and selling at the bottom. And now all of their numbers tell them, and I don't know if it's like one person out there who's like feeding this information to everybody and they're all just repeating it, because I'm getting the comments on my tweets, comments on the videos, $42,000. That's the confirmation that everything's great and we can buy it and move on. And I think a lot of that assumes that we're at this phase of a Wyckoff accumulation and not at this phase right in here, in which you can clearly see even back in Bitcoin in its Wyckoff accumulation schematic at the bottom of the bear market in 2015 and 16, that yes, this high did get taken out right here. Doesn't matter where you want to place it right here. If you're going with that mentality that it has to get up here to confirm it, you can see there's still further more. In this circumstance, there was a big spring that came afterwards, right? But I think a lot assumes that it can't set this new high and then go into a creek. But we know completely with certainty that it can. And I think that's just something to keep in mind as we're still down here, right? But still, it all points to, right, that this is really great. This is awesome. We're in Wyckoff accumulation. This is fantastic. But every time we get these big news things, we always react the same way as a community. Super excited. I've got to buy it right now. I'm never going to get my chance ever again. It's going to fly to the moon. And you know what? Maybe it will. Maybe it is done. Maybe it is just going to fly out of here. But a lot of times we throw that route, we throw it all out the window that a week and a half ago, everybody thought that the whole thing was going to collapse on itself. And then in the last week, the price has risen 46%. And now the news is making everybody FOMO, right? We don't know right now, but I wanted to point that out because there seems to be a massive herding of retail investors to where if Bitcoin gets above $42,000, it's time to buy it and the market's going to shoot straight up. But what would happen if the price fell down and XRP went into a creek at that same time? That would change that story a lot, right? Now, we've used lots of examples from the past to we've been going with this for a long time. It's hard to believe it's been weeks we keep talking about this, but it is playing out the way expected, just taking a terrible amount of time for it all to play out. And the examples that we've had, it doesn't spend this much time. What's happened in the past for XRP, what's happened in the past for coins that we talked about, like Sia Coin and IOTA, showing them in the historical context that they do just really kind of get going. But that's making the assumption about time. And doing this long enough, I know that time is just impossible to predict. Structurally, it's looking awesome. It's looking great. There is a fully completed correction structure that has happened here on the XRP price chart. We are showing crystal clear Wyckoff accumulation. The big question is, how long will the final phase take? Does it just fire out of here, or does it have to grind out longer? And if it does grind out longer, that's okay, because that's very normal. But I know emotions are very excited right now because of the news that's out there, coupled with price has risen today, right? But it should be exciting. We should be excited of what the future holds for the XRP digital asset and the XRP price chart, because I fully believe that the price is going to skyrocket at some point. And a lot of times it's about just kind of keeping mentality in check. And I've done this before too. And it's like, would you rather be right here or would you rather be right here? Personally, I'd rather be right here. If we had to go back and relive all of this over again 60 days ago, I wouldn't want to relive that. I would much rather be at the time period that we're at right now, where the future is optimistic, the future is bright, and the whole thing is starting to get to the very, very ending phase. But it's definitely awesome to see that level get taken out. And that might be a good example right there for those who are saying that Bitcoin has to get above $42,000 and it's time to buy it. Look what's happening to XRP, right? It did peak above that level right over there. Then what happened? It turned right back down on itself. And I know there's a lot of people herded into that mentality that you buy $42,000 if it breaks up there. I'm not saying that the top of Bitcoin is at $42,000. I think if we hit $42,000, it's very optimistic that Bitcoin's going to get up to $50,000 to $54,000 at a minimum for my personal expectations, which aren't a guarantee. But I think just because we poke our head up here doesn't necessarily mean it's going to fly right now. There could still be further accumulation, but still super exciting to see that that's how this played out, because it negates a lot of ABC stuff for Elliott wave theory. So let's jump into the news real quick, because here I am talking about all this stuff and the exciting stuff that's happened over here. But we got this posted over here on Ripple.com. First live on-demand liquidity offering in Japan expands RippleNet's momentum in APAC. Posted over here this morning over on Twitter, Ripple announcing our newest on-demand liquidity corridor in, drumroll please, Japan, which I'm sure Crypto Eddie is just loving life today, seeing all this coming from a mile away. And then Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, posted, hugely excited about our newest ODL corridor. Japan is one of our largest markets with regulatory clarity and innovative partners like SBI. The region is ready for a crypto-enabled future. And you could just hear the shots being fired right there, right? Regulatory clarity and the region is ready for crypto-enabled future. But all right, let's dive into this real quick. First live on-demand liquidity offering in Japan expands RippleNet's momentum in APAC. The Filipino, of course, we get to the second word, and I don't know how to pronounce that, diaspora, is one of the 10 largest in the world, with more than 5 million of its citizens living abroad. Many of them, like Joyce, live and work in a foreign country so they can send money home to family members. But the traditional system of international payments for those migrants is often slow and expensive, siphoning off valuable funds from every transaction that could be better used for food, rent, or medical bills. For the Filipinos, fueling the $1.8 billion in remittances that flow every year from Japan to the Philippines, this can be an especially painful transaction. The Philippines is the third largest destination for remittances from Japan, with Japan 10.5% having one of the highest remittance costs in the world, almost twice as much as the average of all G8 countries, which is 5.92%. Now, SBI Remit Company Limited, the largest money transfer provider in Japan, is teaming up with mobile payments service Coins.ph and digital asset exchange platform SBI VC Trade to transform remittance payments from Japan to the Philippines. Using on-demand liquidity, the three will provide faster, more affordable remittance options for customers. This is Ripple's first on-demand liquidity service implementation in Japan, setting the stage to drive more adoption of crypto-enabled services in the region by leveraging the digital asset XRP to eliminate pre-funding. The two companies can also free up capital and accelerate the expansion of their own payments business. I'm sure you guys don't want to have me read the whole time. So that's pretty much the general gist of what's going on, right? So it's kind of been my point all along since I started this YouTube channel and in my original videos. Talking about how I've done a lot of personal cross-border payments myself. And, the stuff I've done has been very business related, wire transfers in which it costs, $45 to send a wire transfer. It takes a day. You don't ever get any confirmation that the payment is received on the other end unless they send you an email and say, hey, we got it. And that's the way business is currently done right now throughout the rest of the world. But I've always envisioned that there would be a day where I send the payment, it happens super fast, it doesn't cost me $45, it gets there super quick, and I can track it. and have the confirmation that it was received on the other end. And there's no trust that I have to say, hey, did you get your money? And of course, this is something different, right? We're talking about immigrants working in other countries being able to send money back home, but still at the same time not having to pay these outrageous fees to send that money back home. Because when I'm doing business, you're sending thousands of dollars. These people aren't sending thousands of dollars, but they're still they're having to pay a large percentage of the small amount of money that they are sending home to their family. And this is the steps that we need to take towards how payments should be done throughout the rest of the world. So I applaud them that this is happening. It's a great step forward. And I know that these guys all saw this coming from a mile away. And it should be no surprise with how in the loop they've kept us. But it's nice to hear the confirmations after hearing all this stuff so many times. So, a great day for Ripple, a great day for XRP, a great day for the XRP community and all the people who researched all this stuff and had a lot of this stuff figured out and kept us all in the loop. And hey, a good day for the XRP price chart as well, being the top of the list over there on the right side of the screen. So we'll give this a little bit of breathing room, let it play out, see if we have some more consolidation to do or if it's ready to get on the move. But either way, I stick to my bias that I'm bullish on the market, and I think this was a great first step towards proving that. So, all right, guys, I'll wrap this thing up. Thank you so much for watching. If you're looking for something to do, you can check out my website over here. This is bcbacker.com. This is my course where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs and the altcoin market cycles, tying them all together to show the extensions and how the previous cryptocurrency bull runs have worked in the past. I talk about my personal exit plans in here, percentages and mathematics, and I teach you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro so you can get your own charting going for yourself. And you can check this out over here on bcbacker.com. You can follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.